Okay. Here we go. We're going to go install a toilet seat today. And I'm going to offer, this is going to be more of an opinion video. Of course, we'll unbox the toilet seat and put it on. I think it has a bidet on it. And we're going to help out a, this is too close. Anyway, we're going to help out a neighbor that bought this toilet seat. So this is even close by, which is nice. But how long does a service call really take? Even if it's, 15, 30 minutes worth of work, you got to think that the technician still can spend an hour or even hours doing it if they've got to pick up material or drive to your house, sit at a guard gate, sit in traffic. The worst thing a technician, plumbing, HVAC, electrician, whatever, drive to someone's house, drive through traffic, may or may not pick up some parts. The worst is sitting in a guard gate. We have a neighborhood that's close by to us, is ridiculous, and a lot of people think that they live in there and people charge them more. A technician will actually quote them more, and I've never seen that. I've worked for several companies. Most of them use a flat rate, upfront, menu pricing, whatever you want to consider it, and they'll open up their book or their tablet or their computer, and whatever needs to be repaired, they'll quote it straight out of there. But these people seem they think they're better than everyone for whatever reason. And I've known several people that don't work in that neighborhood because they just don't like the people. If you talk to a lot of people in there, they'll say, yeah, I live in here because I've got tons of money. But they're the ones they'll literally lose their mind over quoting them $200. So it's just ridiculous. And that's not everybody in there, but I have had it happen to me. So I can say that it's definitely a reality. Again, that may be my fault. I need to, of course, convey to them that they're getting a certain level of value by hiring me to do it, but maybe they just don't like me. I don't really know. But there's a correlation between that area and the responses we get. It is, of course, up to the technician to quote a price and, of course, convey what it is that they're getting and why the price is what it is. Okay, if I'm driving a 1989 Ford F-150 around and I have the state minimums on insurance, I can do stuff pretty cheap. Now, is that going to protect you? Depending on my skill level, but again, I know a lot of guys in that exact situation and they just need money to pay rent and buy beer. So are they really doing the best job possible for someone? I don't know. I'll let you decide. But to be able to have somebody to answer the phones, a real business, right? An office manager, people working in the office, people working in the warehouse, plumbers working in the vans, certainly not the state minimums for insurance. We're talking, 4 times that on the insurance. That all, of course, factors into pricing. So, if you want to make every dollar count and then buy the most house you can get, then call a service guy and hire the cheapest one. I've seen the nightmare stories out there. Sort of another pet peeve of mine is someone asking for someone or a recommendation to fix something, and 3 or 4 people get on there and say, fix it yourself. Well, they weren't asking for that. They want someone to fix it for them, and I'm the same way. I can buy a set of brake pads for $60 or $80, but you're not going to find me doing my own brakes unless I absolutely have to. I want a mechanic to do it. So that's just how it works. Okay, that was a very short trip. That was from the warehouse over to this job. So now we're going to go make contact with the homeowner, and we're going to unbox the toilet seat, see what we're working with, and install it. Real quick, I should have said this at the beginning. I am going to wear my sunglasses throughout this entire video. It's not because I'm stuck in the 80s or 90s or I'm just some crazy savage. A bee stung me right here. You can kind of see. It's real swollen. A bee stung me in the eye. I have several hives, and I like to go out there and say hi to the bees, and they hate me. They can't stand it. So I went out there and I you know, was making sure they were okay. There weren't any type of invasions. I didn't open up the box or anything like that. I was just kind of looking around the base. And one of the bees, as usual, chose violence and stung me in the eye. And I ran off and screamed like a girl, and now I've got a swollen eye. So we're going to be wearing sunglasses throughout this video. All right, let's go see what we got. Okay, so it's already recording, okay, and you can kind of aim. So here's the toilet we're going to be working on today. I'm going to pass the camera over to James, and he's going to record the rest of it. So you can kind of back up. Let's unbox this real quick. Just kind of aim the camera down here, and we'll see what we're dealing with. This is Bemis. Okay, so Bemis is a toilet seat manufacturer. They typically make, we used to use those on everything, right?
Yeah, they make good quality wooden seats.
Am I on camera pretty good? I'm going to do this because I was going to say something. So in this particular situation, this is a powered seat, and she already has power next to the seat, which is extremely helpful. So most electricians can, if you want to do, and I got to tell you, I recommend having a bidet toilet seat. It just, I mean, that's how you get clean. It's just a great way to do it. Most electricians can come out and they can get you a power source right next to your toilet. I've seen them between $300 to $600. So again, you know, and if you use a lot of toilet paper, I mean, you can get that money back. I mean, I know I could, James. I mean, it's like a weird subject to talk about, but
it's a good investment.
All right, so let's take a look at this real quick here. Thanks for coming and being my cameraman today.
Yes, sir.
Plug. We've got controls on the side. See, I did like a little intro video on the way over here, and I told them why I was wearing my sunglasses. Okay, so front or rear. So depending on which area of your body you want to clean, and then we've got the water attachment here. Okay, so set that right there. Quick guide. These are very helpful and helps you adjust the seats. Mounting, hose, and then this. I'm going to take a look at everything real quick before we get into. Okay, that's going to deliver. Let's see how they want us to do it here.
So normally that would go to that added.
Yeah, this is actually going to go
to the.
This is going to go on the toilet tank, and then we're going to put our supply line here, and then this is going to supply over to the toilet seat. So this is a very good system. While I'm doing stuff like this, like unboxing it, I usually edit it out. Or when I'm like opening plastic stuff.
Yeah.
Rubber anchors. Okay, so these go, actually when you take the seat off, these will go through the guide, through the holes in the bowl. Yeah. Okay, easy enough. Let's go ahead and take the old seat off. All right. This is, I have to tell you, am I good on camera there?
Mm-hmm.
This bathroom is super clean. You don't know how much plumbers appreciate it when we come to work on your toilet and it's super clean. And this toilet is super clean. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's shut the water off. Relieve some pressure over there. Oh. Put a little bit of this as a precaution in case water that drips down there. Okay, just don't catch anything down there. Alright, so. Probably, yes, mini channel locks right there. And then let me take this bad boy off. Splendid. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and grab some tools. I was just going to say something real quick about the shoes. So James, my cameraman, we're Rick James, of course. We're not in and out of yards or anything like that. So we always check with the customer when we're going into their house whether or not we can wear our shoes in there. We're wearing house shoes. Like, these are literally extremely clean shoes. So here you go. So you got the Hey Dudes on there. All right. So normally we have shoe covers, or we'll take them off, but yeah, there you go. We do ask the homeowner if we can wear our shoes inside of the house, and typically if they have dogs or they don't care, they'll say. So this homeowner said we can go ahead and wear our shoes inside, and like I said, these are clean. If we do have boots on, like work boots, believe me, they'll be covered or taken off. So tuck these in here. So different toilet seats are, some of them have the Phillips head screw up top. This one is going to have this retaining bonnet nut down at the bottom. There's one. We're just taking these off with a simple pair of channel locks. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. And we have number 2. We'll set that right there. Now this assembly will come off. So there's the whole assembly. And we'll go ahead and put these back on the bottom. As this toilet seat is usable somewhere else, we'll set this aside. I don't know. Set it right there, okay. All right, now that we've got our toilet seat off, we got some Clorox cleaner right here next to the toilet. We're gonna go ahead and give it a little wipe down. Make sure our mounting surface is clean. Toilet paper right back in the toilet. All right. Let's start with our water connections first. So we're going to thread this on to the water measuring device out of the bottom of the tank. We'll put our existing supply line back on here, and then we'll connect our supply line for the toilet bidet here. There we go. Make sure the rubber washer is in there. We're threading metal onto plastic here. You want to make sure you don't cross thread it. So any resistance you need to be careful with. You can cross thread the metal onto the plastic very easily. Even before you know it, the threads are messed up. Okay, so that's my hand tight. If you've got, like I'm used to tightening things up with my hand, that is completely fine. I don't need to use tools on that. Then we'll supply the water to the bottom. Again, being careful not to cross thread anything. So we're good. This is gonna be good. Okay, let's go with this. All right, so we have our rubber pieces here that will go through the toilet bowl for mounting. Pull it down on the bottom. Well, I pull it all the way through. Let's try that again. Push from the top, and then just wiggle it in from the bottom. those are ready to go.
And then you got these for the bottom.
Okay, so next thing we're gonna do is set this into place here. You can kind of start in the middle is what I like to do. Right. Okay, so we've got our screws down through the rubber bushings. And the idea is to get this right on the first try. But again, if it does not fit, if the seat is too far forward or it's up against the tank, wide range of adjustment right here. We're gonna start in the middle and see how that fits. We're gonna put our fittings down at the bottom. Okay, so that is nice and tight and secure on there. This toilet seat, first we're going to test our fitment. Okay, and I'm going to show you, there's a release button right here on the side. So to clean underneath here, you'll push that button and you can slide the seat off, and then you can clean underneath there if you need to. All right, snaps right into place. Soft close. And the position of this is a little bit too far back. As you can you get that on camera? You kind of see that where I'm putting the seat up and it's falling down. So what we need to do is adjust that. Easy enough. We're going to push our release button on the side, slide it back forward, and the seat is off. And then I'm going to go ahead and adjust this mount forward towards the front of the bowl, maybe 1/4 of an inch or so. Okay. Okay, now we'll test our fit again. It's getting a little bit close. Okay, if it works, right? You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Soft close, stays up on its own. And then the alignment of the bowl is good. All right, so we'll call that success. Now, before we power it up, and before we take off any plastic wrapping, you add that in there. If you're ever working on a toilet seat, just make sure you're not wearing anything with metal buttons or zippers. When you lean over the toilet seats, you can scratch them up. Depending on who you're working for, that may be a problem. I don't know if you remember that couple that we worked for at Mr. Plumber.
Mm-hmm.
We scratched their toilet seat up and they were not having it. Not a big deal, just replacing it, but. Okay. Snug that back up. Now I think what we're going to go ahead and do now that our lines are connected is we're going to turn the water on and we're going to check for any leaks. Okay, I did put about a half of a turn on the metal T-fitting up underneath there, just to make sure it's nice and snug. Okay, let's find the toilet seat. Okay, it's manual. So, did you see that?
Well,
I sprayed us a little bit.
you got me.
Oh, it did?
Oh yeah. Look at my hand.
So the valve was in the on position, which is not a big deal. So we can go in there and we'll just dry this off here. These are things that happen. We're gonna leave this. We're gonna leave that in the video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that can happen. All right, and it did. It did happen. Okay, so this is a plug, which I'm gonna assume warms the toilet seats. We're gonna try and route this back behind here. Make it look as good as possible. Go.
It's even got a light under there.
It's got a light. That's nice. Get all that cleaned up. All right, we're gonna go. I'm not gonna lean over this toilet anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and take the protective coating off. Make sure it's clean. Okay. Nice and straight. Alright. That is pretty much it. Let me see that camera. I'm going to show them the controls on the side here. So here's the control on the side. And you can go front or rear, and you just push this back. Now it does have power, of course, lights up and underneath here as well. Go ahead and flush. Make sure that's all clean there. Check for any drips or any leaks. Everything looks good. Okay. And see. That's it. We'll go ahead and clean up our tools and we'll wrap it up. But I think she'll be happy with that. Fit was great, install was great. No problems. Okay, so that was it. So we did that for her. She's a very nice substitute teacher. I did that for her free of charge because she's close to my neighborhood and I wanted to video that. My hope would be that if you've got something like that, if you know, I know kind of regulations on plumbing are a little bit iffy, and regulations in general kind of rub people the wrong way, although they're beneficial in some respects, right? I mean, licensed attorneys, you would want a licensed attorney to represent you. Physician, you want a licensed physician. Electrician, you want a licensed electrician. You don't want an electrical fire in your house. You want a licensed plumber. You don't want a flood in your house. But for something simple like that, and just given the amount of expenses that a plumbing company has, again, a real plumbing company, not a guy that's just trying to buy beer and pay his rent. You know, to be able to have a guarantee, it can get expensive. So to be able to offer that to someone like my customer here, I feel good about it, and she didn't have to pay anything. We got a little bit of video content out of it, and if anybody wants to know, I think putting a toilet seat in may be pretty simple for most people, but if you're just not sure, hopefully that video kind of showed you what it is and what it's about. And let me stress the bidet thing. I think that everybody should have a bidet thing and not just try to clean yourself off with toilet paper. I think that the proper way to do it is with a bidet and with water, and then paper to dry. But I guess that's a subject for another video, and we don't need to get into that. So hopefully that video was good. If it was, you know, going over something simple, that's great. If it helps you putting in a toilet seat or hooking up a bidet and saving a couple of dollars and not having to worry about stressing out paying several $100s for someone to come to your house, because that's, I mean, even it took just over an hour for us to get here and do that, and it was 1 mile away from our office. So imagine if you had to drive through traffic the other side of town, go through a guard gate, some sort of unexpected accident. I mean, it could take hours of your day, and you know, to pay a whole bunch of money to put a toilet seat in is not something that makes me feel good about. I don't like to see anybody paying, you know, something like that. Slab leaks, stoppages, water heaters, diagnosing gas leaks, gas lines, you know, major stuff that plumbers are trained to do. That's what I like to do. I don't feel good about having to charge someone, like I said, a whole bunch of money to, you know, replace a hose bib or to change a toilet seat out. Those are just things. Once you break the trap seal and you're opening up drains, that's where I say you should have a plumber in there so you can kind of protect yourself, have a warranty, insurance backing you up in case the house does flood or gets damaged, whether it be neglect on the workmanship or maybe just a failed part. It's good to have. But something like this is, you know, having someone with the knowledge to do it, or at least the knowledge to watch the video and help you do it or be able to do it yourself, I think that's the way to go. So anyway, I hope that was interesting. She's happy. I'm happy. It's Friday afternoon. We're going to call it quits for the weekend, and we'll start up next week. And I hope everyone has a great day. Bye.